Yo folks, how's it going? Okay, right now I'm going to do pretty much something different. This time I'm going to review 3 movies in a row, but I'm going to pretty much breeze through them. But I love these 3 films, and they all have a similarity, which is why I'm dubbing this review video the Monthly Curse Trilogy. Okay, and so I'll digress on that. But in a second, these all have similar themes. Aside from the monthly curse that women get, it deals with adolescence, awkwardness, bullying, all the above. Okay? So, the first one that's going to be the most obvious, because I'm going to do these chronological order of when they came out. The first most obvious one is the superior 1976 Brian De Palma film, Carrie, based on the Stephen King novel. Bam! Enough said. Everyone knows the story of Carrie. Deeply bullied kid, raised by his school peers, but also by her overly zealot religious mother. She realizes she has a telekinesis power, and she begins to harness it and use it, and realizes she can move things and control things. And it all comes to a boil on the night of the prom during a prank when she's dumped in pig's blood, and her most absolutely beautiful moment in her life when she actually feels accepted for the first time. Pretty much she takes her revenge after getting dumped with pig's blood, and takes out on the entire town. And I mean, again, everyone knows the story to this, so I'm not going to actually review it. But this film is fucking amazing. It's, like I said, it's a perfect 10. Now, it doesn't follow the Stephen King book to a T whatsoever. But what Brian De Palma did with this film, and the story he did alone, was a good variation on it. And it's superbly acted. I still think Nancy Allen plays one of the biggest, most seethingly realistic bitches ever on screen as a high school bitch. Of course, you know, you got Sissy Spacek and Piper Laurie that honed in fine performances that, you know, I don't think that could really be beat, but for this type of film. Anyhow, so I digress. The film, of course, begins with her receiving her monthly period, which she's never heard about or known about, and she freaks out in the shower room, and that starts the cataclysm of a lot of bullying that gets done to her, and because of the bullying being done to her, the kids get in trouble, and they exact revenge on her for them getting in trouble due to their stupid idiocy. Okay? And no more about the plot, because everyone knows about Carrie. But it's one of my absolute favorite fucking films. It's beautifully shot. It's got an awesome split screen scene in it with the prom, and again, the acting is top notch. And so yeah, that's my quick little rant about Carrie. Great fucking movie. Always have loved it. It's a great anti-bullying film in my book. Okay, so the next one I'm going to move on to is another favorite of mine that deals with adolescence, awkwardness, and again, the monthly curse. And it came out in 2001 on DVD, and that film is no other than Ginger Snaps. Boom! Okay, this Canadian werewolf flick. Now, this movie set out to do a lot of things that a lot of werewolf films hadn't done at the time. It changes the rules up a tad bit. It turns into like a sexual transmitted disease that can be passed along from host to other host. And it's pretty much about these 2 awkward, I don't know if you call them gothic. They're not typically gothic, but they're macabre. Macabre sisters who are inseparable in high school. The Fitzgerald sisters, Ginger and Bridget. And one night, after trying to play a prank on one of their bullies, again, a current theme in these, Ginger gets attacked by this beast that's been tearing a lot of the neighborhood dogs apart at night. And it attacks her, and I guess you could say kind of rapes her, and it gets into her. And she slowly and surely begins evolving into a werewolf that's like a virus that works itself from the inside out. And so it's not like all other werewolf films where it's a full moon, she changes and then changes back. No, it's like it's a cycle, and once she turns into a werewolf for good, she's a wolf for good. And the whole movie has the bond of these sisters being tested because now that she's had her monthly period and becoming a woman, we're sprouting hair in weird places she's never sprouted, having weird anger management control issues, you know, sexual appetite, all that stuff that happens in adolescence, but it's also correlating with the fact that she's becoming a werewolf, okay? So hence the title Ginger Snaps, okay? Which I think is a very witty title for this movie. Anyhow, but the whole movie's about the sister Bridget, who's dealing with the fact that her sister, that's only her only good friend, is separating from her, but also how she's dealing with it and how she's trying to go out of her way to save her sister from this werewolf curse. So anyhow, so yeah, this movie is completely badass. If you've never seen it, go check it out. It's got 2 other sequels. The second sequel, Unleashed, is pretty decent for a sequel. It's real dark. And the third one's pretty much like a repeat of this, but set in 18th century outpost Canada. So I don't know about all that, but the original one, the first one from 2001, badass. And like I said, it correlates with her having her period and turning into a woman, but at the same time she's becoming a werewolf. So it has a lot of correlation with those intertwining themes. Okay, so if you like this film, if you've ever seen it, feel free to comment below. Okay, and we'll move on to the last one. That is a newer film. And it's not so much horror. I actually kind of reviewed it already, but it's not so much a horror movie, but it does kind of fit into the horror pantheon, as I've said before. And it deals also with school, adolescence, awkwardness, being bullied, and the monthly curse. And I'm not going to really... well, I will reveal how it comes into play in this film. And it's kind of sick, but I love this film for it, you know. That film is Excision. Boom! I highly love this film. It's one of my favorite films of this past year. It's not for everybody. A lot of people probably won't understand it. I'm socially awkward myself around people, so I completely understand it, but not to the degree that Pauline is in this film, played by Anna Lynn McCord, to great effect. She's hardly recognizable of what she really looks like in real life, because she's gorgeous in real life, but in this, she looks like this. Anyhow, the film pretty much centers on Anna Lynn McCord's character Pauline, who's socially awkward. She goes out of her way to not victimize people, but to repulse them. And she's a loner. And her only good friend is her little sister, who is slowly dying of cystic fibrosis. And the family can't afford to really treat her. So Pauline develops this kind of weird fantasy that she could become a surgeon, even though she sucks in school. Let's just face it, she's not university material. But she starts studying her own stuff, and she wants to use her hands for the greater good of actually excising the problem out of her little sister. Because she wants the love of her. She wants to get the acceptance of her mother, and she thinks since the family can't afford it, she can do it herself. That's pretty much the plot of this film, but it's all done in vignettes and stuff like that of her school life, her home life, her troubled life, and her awkward life. And also her impending sex life, which the monthly curse comes into play in this, because when she starts getting her monthly period, she decides that part of the movie is her trying to lose her virginity to one of the popular guys in school. And the period comes into play when she decides she has to lose her virginity and pop her cherry while she's on her period. And and that pretty much does take place. And it's depending on how it was done tastefully, but it was still pretty gross. But yeah, so she sets out to lose her virginity while she's on a period without having the guy know that she's on her period when she loses her virginity. And it's kind of a play to a comedic awkward effect. But anyway, so this film has a lot of not references to Carrie, but a lot of parallels to Carrie as well. She does get back at some students that play that vandalize her house, the outside property of her house, you know, things like that. But it's a totally separate entity altogether. But again, these films all have similar themes of adolescence, awkwardness, bullying, and the monthly period. So this is the monthly period trilogy collection. I'm dubbing it as. All right, so. That's that. If you've seen any of these films, which I know a lot of you have seen Carrie, maybe Ginger Snaps, and hopefully maybe even Excision since it's new. But feel free to comment below on your thoughts on those. Okay, peace out.